and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs.
Can we hurry this up? It's a full moon tonight, and I just gotta. I don't want to turn into a werewolf on mic while the mic's hot because I say some bad stuff.
Does Marty know about your werewolf? I thought you were going to be cagey about it, but you're just coming out.
No, it's fine.
I'm not.
I mean, like, we've done a lot of fun bits.
Because I knew you were a werewolf, since we're best friends. I, of course, knew your secret, but I didn't realize Marty knew too. So.
Oh yeah, I'm a distant acquaintance of Kelly's, but I also actually already knew this.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I didn't think he shared that just with anybody. Okay. Wow.
All I'm saying is that like we've done a lot of very elaborate bits. We've done crazy voices. This one's not that crazy. I'm just a werewolf trying to finish recording his podcast with his buddies. That's all.
Werewolf at the podcast.
Yeah, I'm just
During
a werewolf. By day, I'm a normal white straight male recording a podcast with his friends, and by night, I howl at the moon.
If they did do an American Werewolf in London in 2020, and he's like a guy, with an NYU shirt, he would be a podcaster. Yeah. Let's not
I wish we
around.
could. I wish we could. Instead of doing the titles of our podcast as the movie we're reviewing, I would have, Marty, can you please name this one an American podcaster in London? Because that is what's happening right now.
Wasn't that the plot of the last Halloween movie?
That was the plot. No, there was podcasters who go and find Michael Myers, and they're like basically the reason he escapes, kind of is what they imply.
Somehow.
Yeah,
somehow they're the reason. They're like, you dug too deep.
Yeah,
stupid podcasters with your Sennheiser headphones.
Kelly,
Michael Myers just was like really there. He thought the color commentary was too smarmy that they did. Like,
I think it's like there's the mad scientist who lets him out though ultimately, but the first people he kills are the podcasters. He like hunts down these podcasters.
Good.
He really does. Yeah. Well, were they like trying to interview him, Michael Myers himself?
Yes.
How's that working?
Yes, they interviewed him while he's like chained in like the middle of a giant like playground, basically.
That's really true.
You guys didn't see that movie?
I watched it, but I mean, it was 2018. It's a long time ago.
That as a concept wasn't that bad, and the movie overall is like not terrible, but it's like a little too. It's just tonally a little too all over the place. It's a little too jokey, and then also has like mad scientist who releases Michael Myers because he wants to see what happens when he runs into Jamie Lee Curtis. That's what that movie is. And
but they try to interview Michael Myers.
They literally are. I don't know if are they podcasters or they're just journalists. Right?
No, they're podcasts. They're like British true crime.
I mean, in 2020,
podcasters.
Is there a difference?
Oh, serial.
A British podcaster in America.
Kelly, I was going to say, it's 5:20 right now here in Central Time Zone.
We got to hurry
Yeah, and what time
Yeah.
is sunset?
I think sunset is at like 5:55 maybe,
Actually,
or 5 or 6
I
or
think
6:05.
I think we'll be okay. I'm just going to start. If you guys
So you're
don't mind,
saying we have like roughly like 40 minutes to an hour
Somewhere
before we got to finish this up.
Here's what we'll do. I'll start driving west so that it'll take a little bit longer for the sun to set. I hope you guys don't mind the driving noises and on my mic. Take you can edit that out, right?
Yeah. I'll take.
So
I'll
that'll
put
buy
a
us a
noise
couple
gate.
more minutes.
Yeah.
I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, start your car, Kelly.
All right. Well, let's get started, I guess. Gentlemen.
Welcome
what?
to Spoof, Scoofs, and Novelty Songs.
Okay, you're welcoming me to the podcast. I'm one of the hosts, dude.
Oh my God.
Gentlemen, welcome to Spoof, Scoofs, and Novelty Songs.
Are you confused where I think you're supposed to be addressing the audience with this statement?
Audience, welcome to Spoof, Scoofs, and Novelty Songs.
The podcast about dumb shit.
Marty.
Yeah, what's up?
Please read me the first paragraph of the Wikipedia page of the movie we're talking about today.
Fine. For our final episode of Spooftober, our very special Spooky Halloween series, we are reviewing Scream.
Why'd you say it quieter?
A 1996 slasher flick directed by slasher movie legend Wes Craven, written by Kevin Williamson, who would go on to write many slasher flicks as well as create Dawson's Creek and Vampire Diaries.
Wait a minute. Sweden is not involved in this one?
Who? Joss Whedon?
Joss Whedon?
I don't think he's in this. I don't think so. No.
I thought Joss Whedon wrote Scream this whole time.
No, it's Kevin Williamson. Very famously, this was like his big break as a writer.
Wow, holy shit.
Fun facts.
Yeah.
A box office smash, Scream revitalized the genre of slasher flicks while simultaneously operating as a sort of love letter / final send-off to the style of horror movie. The film has had 3 sequels made, with a 4th supposedly on the way, as well as many...
No, the 4th one is out. It came out in like 2014
3
or
sequels.
something.
3 sequels on the way, with
the
a
4th one a
4th
prequel?
sequel.
So the 4th sequel is the 5th movie. Suck my fucking dick,
You
piece
did
of
this to
shit.
yourself. No, you played yourself here. I didn't
I'm
misspeak.
confused.
You
Is the
fucking
4th
did
one a
this.
prequel?
No, the 4th one is a sequel. What? No,
So
Scott-
okay, so there's
Oh,
2 sequels.
semantics, Marty.
There's 2 sequels to the
Semantics.
Lord of the Rings. Are you saying there's
Yes.
2 sequels?
Yes.
There is, but who says it that way?
You know you're wrong.
What kind of
you guys
ner-
know
no,
you're wrong.
Marty, you're right, but you're
No,
saying
you're
it in a
technically
way.
right, but it's just a weird. You did like a weird word puzzle.
You're doing a actually. That's Frankenstein's monster.
No, I'm not. You guys are the ones doing that right now.
No, you are. Oh my God, listeners,
I'm
listeners,
trying to be nicer to Marty. I'm trying to be nicer to Marty. I'm
listeners,
trying to be nicer to
tweet
Marty.
semantics antics at Marty if
No.
you think he's wrong.
This is
Welcome
what
to Marty's new
And then
segment on the
tweet-
show,
tweet-
Semantics
tweet-
Antics.
Tweet grammar hammer at me if you think
Okay.
Marty is correct.
I said something correct. You guys are both trying to nitpick me. So how are you not the ones being semantics right now? Like, what is
It's
going
just-
on?
You said it
Because
correctly,
that's a weird
but it
way
was
to
dumb.
say it. It is misleading.
There's 4 movies in the Scream franchise. There's a 5th one on the way. Continue, Mart. Supposedly on the way.
Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on the iconic slasher flick sort of spoof Scream?
This is a hot flick.
Yeah, to quote Rob Thomas, it's a hot one.
This is a hot one. It's got Matthew Lillard in it. It's got. That's all I remember. Is that
Skeet Ulrich, Nev Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette,
Courtney Cox is in the first one?
Rose McGowan. Courtney Cox, did you watch the movie?
Yeah,
What's going
she's
on?
arguably the second lead. Almost.
She is the
Like,
second
yeah.
lead of this movie. Yeah,
She doesn't look. It doesn't look like Courtney. She's so young.
she does look different. Yes, because she's also wearing a wig though.
She looks the same as Monica in the second. Is she in the second Scream too, or am I crazy?
She's in all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
The main 3 are in all of the movies.
Yeah, I watched the movie. Okay, it was like 3 weeks ago.
That's true. We
Because
did
I've been
schedule
on
this one a
top of my
while.
shit
Yeah.
for once in my life. Yeah, this movie's a banger. Turn off
Yes.
the podcast, flush it down the toilet, go watch it.
We've had quite a run. Like this horror movie month has been just like us watching really good spoof movies. Basically,
It's like
this
a
movie
break.
Cabin in the
rips,
Woods. I agree.
except for that one. But
That one wasn't even. See, the
it's
thing
not
about Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah,
Cabin
we're
in the
not
Woods
talking
is
about
a
that though.
conversation starter. Scream,
Yes.
great movie. Very fun. This is like what Cabin in the Woods strives to be. Cabin in the
Yes.
Woods.
That's why I thought
strives to be.
Sweden was involved, is because they feel like, yeah, Scream honestly just does a better job of making the point that Cabin in the Woods is trying to make. And 10 years earlier, I might add.
And I think it's honestly because Cabin in the Woods is just trying to critique something, whereas Scream is like both trying to be like this. It's trying to like emulate the good qualities of those movies and also make fun of the weaker qualities of those movies. And in the end, it's also made by the guy who arguably invented the genre and like perfected it for so long. And so it just
Yeah.
like it's just a perfect confluence of like a good script with the right director who knows these movies so fucking well.
Craven's just like, hey, I'm gonna make a movie about all the things that I do in all my other movies.
Yes,
like,
for real. And he's like, I'll just do them again, and you'll all just love it because it's always been good. Like,
Yeah.
Some brilliant self-crit by Scraven.
yes.
mm,
This movie functions as like the first half is like pretty close to Nightmare on Elm Street, sort of, where it's like there's more mystery, and there's also obviously all of the Nightmare on Elm Street references are in the first like half of the movie, and then the second half becomes more Halloween with all the Halloween references it makes at the end too, which I think is a really nice structure for the movie too. And like, yeah, this movie, he clearly cast Skeet Ulrich because he happens to kind of look like Johnny Depp from that era
Yeah.
of Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Like,
Oh, Skeet Ulrich is the name of the Johnny Depp
of the guy who's obviously the
Roundy's
killer the whole
friend.
time.
Yeah.
Skeet
Spoiler.
Ulrich, he's gonna play Kid Rock in like a biopic in a couple years. That's how I think. That's what I think of Skeet Ulrich.
The biopic we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Oh,
when does Kid Rock become adult rock?
Interior, backstage. Kid Rock walks down a hallway in slow motion, pondering his whole life's journey. That's just a teaser there for you.
Yeah,
Hang on. Kid Rock's got to think about his entire life before he goes on stage.
Mm-hmm. What the dang, diggy.
Yeah, it's got like one of those terrible movie trailer, like, oh, we're gonna slow it down and put it in like a minor key, and
yeah.
just,
or like right in between shots, it's like
it's a choir.
Dang, diggy. Shot of huge screaming crowd. Cut to black. Dang, diggy. Cuts back to him. He's like riding like a jet ski with a gun shooting in the air. You get it.
It cuts to a kid who's playing like Twisted Metal 2, and on the soundtrack is Kid Rock, and he turns to his father and he says, Papa, whose song is this? And the dad's like,
and then the dad's like, son, it's mine. The dad is Kid Rock.
And the kid is for some reason playing Twisted
Daddy,
Metal
I love
2.
you.
It's crazy that
So
Kid Rock's...
Scream...
Oh, okay, never mind. Or you can finish.
No, go ahead. Go.
I was just going to say it's wild that Kid Rock's middle name is Contemporary, and he didn't just go with that. Kid Contemporary Rock.
I thought it was jazz.
Kid Jazz Rock?
What? How about Bop? Is it Kid Bop?
Kid Bop Rock.
Yeah. No, it's Spop. I'm really having fun with this joke format. Just
good.
take the.
It's good.
Just take
It's a
the
good format.
last letter of. Yeah, you get it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, Scream is a good movie.
Yeah, Scream rules.
Like, there's not a ton to say here. It's honestly really fucking solid. It's just an enjoyable, like, as a slasher movie, it's like crazy. It's crazy that like the slasher movie, when this movie came out, was considered dead, right? They were going all direct to DVD at this point. Like, this movie literally...
And Craven, it's literally Craven just being like, you guys are doing it wrong, and then like knocking it out of the park
I
again.
mean, he had been doing it though, and he tried to do this kind of movie already. They did the Freddy's a New Nightmare, I think, is around this time too. So, which was like the meta one where it's like
literally just thinking too how like, because it does seem like, yeah, like through the 80s and then like by the late 90s, like we had gone through the slasher phase and we're ready for like a meta critique, and then right, the New Nightmare is the, because I was literally thinking like we need something like that, because it seems like all through like the aughts and even up to now, it's like the whole like Conjuring franchise where like we switched back to like esoteric, like again, like
I like horror movies right now.
I was saying this the other day off mic, I fucking hate ghosts. I don't enjoy fiction about ghosts. The rules of ghosts to me make ghosts not like scary, but not like there's like no stakes to it.
Scott took his
I
first
won't go on my
steps-
fucking rant.
He took his first steps in theaters when he was watching Casper, and he walked out of that theater at
It's true.
2 years old.
It's true.
I like horror movies of like this era. I'm like a big fan of the weird, it's more like it's like horror versus terror, I think, or something like that, where terror is like this looming sense of like something bad's gonna happen.
Dread.
Dread, versus like horror being like something bad is happening.
Yeah,
is the concept. And
right,
I think it's the other way around, but yeah, I think Master of Horror Stephen King made that distinction.
Yeah.
Well,
you're
that's
talking
like
The Witch and like Midsummer, those kinds of movies.
Yeah, and it's not a movie, but The Hill House, and I'm watching Bly Manor right now, and those movies that like I that's what gets me the most, more than anything, is when I know something bad's gonna happen and I hate, it's like eating a really, really sour warhead, and I'm like, why am I doing this? This sucks. But it's there's something about it that captivates me and keeps me watching.
All right, I'm going to go on my fucking ghost rant because you walked me right into it, okay? Here's the thing with the looming sense of dread with a ghost is like, when you have that like sense of dread and it's like Michael Myers and you're like, okay, he could be behind that couch. He could be like, you're like looking for him to come out, but there's like, he's a tangible person and there are like rules to like what he can and can't do for the most part. But with a ghost, it's like, okay, based on like the sounds and like the way the camera angles are, I know something something's gonna jump out, and then the ghost comes out of like the fucking like blender and is like, "Blah, I got you," and it's like, well, yeah, because I don't fucking, I'm not looking at the because you cheated. Ghosts, and then here's the thing too. Oh, I jumped out of the blender and scared you, and now I'm going to fly at the camera and then go down the hallway, and I'm okay. So all that mounting of tension for it to come out of somewhere where I never would have expected to, because there are no fucking rules to this shit. And then for what? For what ultimately? Like, yes, I did get startled by you setting me up to be startled. Great stuff.
See, your goal in a horror movie is different than mine, I think. Like, I'm watching Hill House not because of it like unravels the past. That's like the thing about ghosts, is that it's more about the history of like what caused this trauma.
But do you need the ghost in the blender scene to get the past unraveling?
I would argue though that we're talking about like the earlier slasher movies, or even like The Exorcist, let's say, like Halloween, Friday the 13th, the first one, and well, maybe not Friday the 13th, but like Nightmare on Elm Street. Those were dread-based movies. Like Halloween is like, what? There's like 2 kills in Halloween. It's like, it takes so long. Like, it's all mounting. And to tie it back to Scream plays off of that really well too. I think the mood and the tone of Scream being so suburban, and the fisheye lenses and all that stuff, all the tone pieces of this movie really does give you a good sense of like building to dread. I just think Scott doesn't like that. It's like too, it's not grounded.
He just doesn't like ghosts, and that's fine. It's fine.
It's not grounded enough, and I also am like anti-jump scare. I think jump scares are actually totally separate from horror, because literally, like, you could put a picture of like Dr. Phil on the screen with a loud jarring noise and I will jump. What's to me, speaking of like movies about like mounting horror and dread, I think like one of the best horror movies from the past 10 years, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, It Follows. Yeah. And there is a scene in there that I think is like an anti-jump scare that's like really fucking scary, which is like towards the beginning of the movie, before you've really even got like a good look at like what the that follows can do. Mm-hmm. She hears a crash as it like comes through the window, and then she's like walking around the corner to like see what it is, and then it goes into slow motion, and then it stays on her, and then first you see her scream in slow motion, and you see like the horror on her face. And they've already done like the big like noise indicating that something horrifying is happening. And then it cuts to what she's looking at, and the monster is like this like, you know, like
7 foot
bruised,
tall,
like half naked like woman with like teeth missing, and it's still really scary, but they don't, and it's like coming towards the frame like slowly. It's way scarier than a ghost coming out of like a place you would never expect, because ghosts can be anywhere, and we make this big loud noise when it happens.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think with a ghost horror movie, it's sort of, you don't know the rules and it reveals them as it goes. Like with Paranormal Activity, it sort of ramps up, and you're just like, well, if the ghost can pull the blankets off me in the middle of the night, what else can it do? And it's like, it really can't ultimately do anything in that fucking movie, I feel like. But it's still spooky, it's still scary, it's still creepy, it's still kooky, and boy,
it's mysterious and spooky.
I'm there for it. But I get where you're coming from.
It's altogether ooky.
Mm-hmm.
Now Scream.
Yes.
I Scream.
Tying it all back. I think the thing that like Scream nails in both respects is it does the dread thing, but I think it's also making fun of the fact that at this point slasher flicks had become so jump scare heavy. They had become so heavily relying on just like constant gore and kill counts and cool deaths. And this movie is very anti that stuff in general, like just as a meta thing. It's like obviously all the characters are constantly referencing other horror movies, and they're actively talking about it. But just even like an plot or narrative thing, the violence is really grounded in this movie. And even like the kills are like, besides one kill, the kills are very just like a person gets stabbed. They're very lame and straightforward.
Stabbed like multiple times sometimes.
Yeah, but
like the first kill's pretty brutal. The first like 2 kills, because the boyfriend dies, and then
the part where Drew Barrymore is like that close to her parents and she can't scream, that's pretty gruesome.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
I think it's like but it's not flashy. It's not Jason Voorhees slamming someone against a tree. Like, yeah,
It sets the tone for like the rest of it. Like, you know what you're getting into, which I kind of
I don't
like.
think I think the tree slamming is like DIY. I think it's not flashy at all.
no. But like it's done as a bit though in those movies. Like he literally takes a person who's in a sleeping bag and just like whips
I'm
them
just
against
having
a tree.
fun. I'm
Okay,
just
good. Okay, good. It's like, what? That's not corrected at all. The only death that I think breaks that a little bit is the Rose McGowan death. Like it's a little over the top that but I enjoy that because at that point in the movie, like we're ramping up the craziness a little bit. So it works, but that is the only
Oh
time
wait, is she the garage door one?
Yes. She gets cut.
I did not with the blonde wig. I did not know that's who that was until just now.
I didn't remember that she was in the movie even, and I was like, wait, she's listed in the cast for this? I was like, oh shit, that's her. Like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have something you know what? I don't want to. I'm having a hard time coming up with things to say about Scream because it's just like straight down the plate, like good movie. It came out like I don't know, like 20 years ago. So like, what's to say about it other than like, hey, this is a great critique of slashers. So I just want to ask you this: Freddy seems to be like fairly aware of like pop culture, right?
Yes.
Where is he getting all this? Do you think he watches TV, or like how does he know to make all these references and shit?
The script. Next question.
Kelly's Scream came alive because he's gonna go look up where how does Freddy get all of his references.
You know, as I was asking it, I actually thought of a real answer, and it's like it's just clinical. It's not funny at all, but I think because of the dreams.
Yeah,
he knows
sees
it because
everybody's
of us.
Yeah, I think that's
All right.
absolutely the reason. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Did you guys catch Freddy Krueger is in this movie?
Oh, is
Fred the
Johnny
school
English? What's his
janitor.
name?
He's the janitor.
He's the janitor.
What's the Robert England? That's his name.
I don't think it's him, but
No,
it's,
Wes Craven plays him in this movie.
Yeah.
And Scream. It's like an homage. Yeah.
Yeah. Henry Winkler as the principal.
Oh man,
Loved
so
it.
good. That's who. Basically, it's for me. Him and Matthew Lillard make it. Those are like two of my low-key favorite actors for I don't know why. Henry Winkler kind of makes sense. Matthew Lillard's like a weird one.
You like SLC Punk though. That's why you like
I
Matthew
love
Lillard.
SLC Punk.
Yeah.
When are we doing that one?
Oh.
Probably never.
It's a spoof of Utah.
It's a spoof of my movie
Tastes.
my liked
When
films.
Matthew Lillard made an inappropriate joke and then stuck his tongue out really far like a total 90s slacker
Yes.
dude.
That's the Matthew Lillard we all know and love.
Yeah.
I think him and Winkler are the only ones who really play it as a comedy, sort of. Winkler is the perfect choice for it. He's so, like, deranged in the movie, kind of, and it's fucking hilarious. And then Lillard plays such a bananas character the whole time, and it's such a good foil to Skeet Ulrich's character that, like, the payoff of that it's two people who are doing the murders, and that it's the bananas crazy guy who's, like, dumb, and then the guy who's, like, just clearly crazy it's just such a good... It's such a good murder mystery payoff. Like, the guy who is obviously the killer the whole time and the guy who's, like, defending him the entire movie, like, secretly. Like, every scene where they're like, oh, it's Skeet Ulrich doing it, he's like, nah, he didn't do it. It's just every single scene is him saying that over and over again. It's so well done.
It's so funny because he's, like, caught red-handed multiple times, and you kind of still, like, are like, maybe I'm just being misled.
Because it's too
Nope.
obvious. Like, it has to be but yeah, having two
Right.
killers, I think, is, like, the good twist. But
That's a good twist, yeah.
and I think this was intentional now that I'm thinking about it, but it's still kind of like made me not like the movie as much, is that their motivation like does not make a whole lot of sense.
Like, the idea that Sydney's mother slept with Skeet Ulrich's dad, right, and then made his mom run away. I think,
Or just that, like, it felt like they didn't like lay enough groundwork where it's like, well,
They're just
if you had like
basically sociopaths.
referenced that earlier, then I would have been able to figure that out. But like, you can't like be like, and the mystery was you didn't have all the evidence. Now we'll solve it for you. Like,
Yeah.
I like it. I actually like that all that stuff because I actually think it's delivered so well towards the end. I actually don't mind because they mention Sydney's mom so many times and they mention the guy who got framed for the murder so many times. which I think is, by the way, the key to the movie working, is that there's this weird thing of her mother was also killed. I love all that stuff. That stuff's all great.
I think they're like, let's get through this so we can get to fucking Lillard bleeding out, because that's like actually a better
important thing.
or just it's more like interesting and funny.
Yeah.
How much do you think they like referenced Reservoir Dogs at all when they were like working on like that scene, especially Lillard's like just like, I'm bleeding out your mouth.
I didn't think about that, but that is really funny. Oh man, Tim Roth in that. Tim Roth is so good in Reservoir Dogs, except for some of the bleeding out stuff. He's just like, oof.
Yeah, why were they? Was it his idea, or like Tarantino was just like, hey, do a Muppet voice?
I think. No, it's him doing that accent. He's trying so hard to do an American accent, and he can do an American accent, but for some reason in that movie, he really can't. Not when he's bleeding out, man.
Yeah, he turns into Kermit. Yeah, it's literally your Kermit. Like,
Mr. White, I'm bleeding out.
that's spot on. Hey, pause the DVD, Marty. We're
okay. Hold on. Sorry, I was watching it.
Yeah. All right. Do we got anything else?
I'll say I want to give credit to Scary Movie for one thing. I think Scary Movie, it's like hilarious that this movie is like such a good parody of slasher movies while also like doing it right, where Scary Movie just like, I don't know, I don't really get I don't know what to say about it. Besides,
I'm shaking my head. What? Give credit for what? I'm so confused.
The dad stuff in that movie, the making fun of Sydney's dad in Scary Movie, I think is even funnier having watched this now again.
Okay.
Because it's like, why is he so rich? He's so rich in this movie.
Or just like, who is he? Like, what is he? He went, where did he go? Like, he went, like, I'm going on like a hunting journalism trip.
I'm going
what?
Which I think is good. It sets up that maybe he is the guy doing it the whole time, right? Because it's so vague.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that part in Scary Movie works. The rest of it obviously is like, why did you do a spoof of a spoof? But
yeah, that's the reason I'm shaking my head, because it's like Scary Movie deserves no credit for anything ever.
You can't make fun of something that is already self-aware and funny.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it doesn't.
Apparently,
work,
you can, but the thing is, teen boys.
Because Scary Movie had 3 sequels.
Yeah,
more than that actually, but okay.
No, it had 3 because you're not counting the first one, Marty.
There's 4 sequels.
Okay, he didn't say it didn't have 4 sequels. He said it has 3 sequels, Marty. Come on.
Yeah. And a 4th one that was upcoming and is now done.
Yeah. Come on, Mart. This movie's good. 10 out of 10 as a movie. 10 out of 10 as a spoof. I'll go all out. I think it's great. It's hard to talk shit about it. It's very fun. Works as like a horror movie if you're wanting to watch a horror movie, but if you're very into horror movies and want something lighter, it also works as that. As
a movie, 9.5 out of 10. Come on. It's good. It's rewatchable. It's important to the zeitgeist. It's a good movie. As a spoof, hell, I'm going to say 9 out of 10. I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10. Because I don't think it's like really a spoof. It's more of like, you know, a piece of satirical
like
satire.
Yeah, I feel that.
But as satire goes, holy shit. I mean, you can't go wrong with Scream. So, yep, there's my review.
I think as a spoof in a movie, I'm giving it the same rating. And I'll say, I think it's fair to call it more of a satire than a parody. Though I think this movie, I think it's both. Like, I think it is like both a satirical piece on horror movies, and I think it's kind of a constant parody.
Well,
like,
Marty, let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
How many bullet time sequences were there?
Oh, no. None. Matrix hadn't come out yet, so...
-1 point for that.
I'm giving them both a 10 out of 10 as a movie and a spoof. I think just, like, as a movie, obviously, it's great, and it holds up really well. As a spoof, I just think the movie, like... the way it, like, mimics some of the other slasher movies that it's making fun of actively, as well as, like, through the style of the movie, I don't know, like, Drew Barrymore's kind of dressed like characters from the Halloween. The way they hang her up at the beginning of the movie is exactly how, like, Michael Myers, like, displays his deaths in those movies and stuff. Skeet Ulrich looks like Johnny Depp. Like, I don't know, it's hard not to just think it's a good parody on top of the fact that, yeah, I think it's good satire. But I think it's fair to also say that it's more of a satire than a parody, but...
Thank you.
So, Scott,
Well, wait, you didn't say what you get. You just said you were going to give it the same. What
10
you
out
I
of
get?
10.
said 10 out of 10.
I
You
missed that.
mentioned it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Semantics, but he did say that.
I did say that. Scott, do you have a novelty song to play us?
I do. I do, as a matter of fact. Let me pull up the link here for you. All right. Today, fellas, we're talking about, for Spooftober, this entry is I Put a Spell on You by a fella named Screamin Jay Hawkins. And that's Screamin with an apostrophe. 1956, this track was released. Yeah, you've heard this covered, I'm sure, famously in Hocus Pocus and other places. It's, of course, an iconic. If you're having a Halloween party and you don't have this on the playlist, then take off your costume and become a Jehovah's Witness, because you don't deserve to celebrate Halloween. They in 1956, when they were recording it, they were originally it was the original recording was supposed to be much more down the plate, not all kooky and zany like the recording you'll hear is. And before recording this song, Screamin Jay Hawkins, he was just Jay Hawkins. So here's what he said. The producer, Arnold Maxon, brought in ribs and chicken and got everybody drunk, and we came out with this weird version. I don't even remember making the record. Before I was just a normal blues singer. I was just Jay Hawkins. It all sort of fell into place. I found out I could do more destroying a song and screaming it to death. So then he re-recorded the song for he had previously recorded a normal version. There is like the more normal version that exists out there, and he re-recorded it for Columbia's OK Records. The notorious screaming version released in October 1956. However, this version was banned from most radio programming for its outrageous, quote, cannibalistic style. A truncated version was later released, omitting the grunts and moans from the ending of the song, but the band generally remained. Despite the restriction, the record still sold over 1 million copies. So with no further ado, let's hear a little taste of Screamin Jay Hawkins, I Put a Spell on You.
No, put me down. I put a spell on you. Because you're mine. Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
Oh, I like this. I like being called a gentleman.
There's no quiz this week. We're trying something new. What I've done is, previous to this record, I've written out like a movie scene. It's the ending scene in imagine like a Evil Dead type movie, and I'm gonna read it as though you are the main character of this movie, and there's a one-liner at the end that you will fill in the blank. I have given my co-hosts the prompt for the one-liner well ahead of time. One of the co-hosts has chosen to prepare, while the other is going to just freestyle it. So
Kelly, why would you not prepare for this?
Wow.
I think, should we do it?
You'd
I'm
be
going to read the
surprised.
prompt. I'm going to read the prompt and set up Kelly to give his best one-liner.
Okay, yeah, I think that's good punishment for him for not doing this at a time.
And then Marty, we can we'll just go through the rest of them after that. So
I'll go through my papers. Yeah.
here's the prompt. All right, listener, close your eyes and let your imagination take you into this horror movie, which I will describe to you now. The squelching thud of the sledgehammer echoes through your head as you remember killing the last demon spawn. It seems the Dark Ones saved their cruelest trick for last when they possessed your babe of a girlfriend, Tiffany. She chased you around the basement of the abandoned hospital you and your friends had entered as a dare 6 hours before, all while doing a little sing-song voice and scratching the walls with her now 6-inch long fingernails. In her detuned monster voice, she mocks you, bringing up intimate times the two of you had shared, as well as insulting your dong. Your friends had been picked off one by one as you had unraveled the mystery of Buford Asylum and learned of the tormented spirits that haunted it. Just before Tiffany was about to disembowel you in a last-ditch effort, you ripped a page from the sadistic Dr. Ravenwood's journal and brandished it to the demon spawn, who recoiled in terror. You take the opportunity and bash the fiend's brains in. An hour later, you're at the police station trying to explain what happened. The cops practically laugh you out of the station, but agree to fill out a report. They go into the back room to grab a fresh pencil, and you hear them start laughing again. But this time it's different. It sounds unnatural, and they aren't stopping. The laughing grows louder and deeper, and you see the two cops emerge from the supply closet with a black ooze dripping from their now sharpened teeth. Their eyes glow white. Just then you grab a billy club from the desk, and then you mug to the camera and say,
Sir Austin Danger Powers is a fictional character from the Austin Powers series of films and is created and portrayed by Mike Myers. He is the protagonist of Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and Austin Powers and Goldmember. Gentlemen, and then it cuts.
Okay, you got any more? Marty, would you like to... Did you come up to... Did anything pop into that little brain of yours?
I'm assuming that one of the characters has a name Dano in this movie. Book 'em, Dano.
Unfortunately, actually, none of them. One guy is named Danny. He's a gas station attendant from the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Okay.
It doesn't appear again.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Kelly, you got any others?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Okay. You grab the billy club. You turn to the camera and say...
Bah! Because it's like a goat, because of Billy.
All right. Well, it was fun to try something new. It was fun to try something new. We probably won't bring this back.
No, I'm having fun. What do you mean?
All right.
I got one.
Do one.
Okay, the demon cops come out of the supply closet, foam dripping from their mouths. You grab the nearest blunt object and you're about to fight them, but first you mug to the camera and you say,
ACAB, all cops are batted.
I got a sincere one, like sort of sincere.
Demon cops emerge from the supply closet with little claws akimbo, ready to tear you limb from limb. You reach and grab one of their billy clubs, mug to the camera, and say,
"Here's Billy." What are you looking for? What? I feel like there's no way we could impress you.
The problem is Scott keeps describing it as a billy club, which no one would ever know that's what that's called when they grab. You know what I mean? So you're doing like a pun on something that no one would call it that. Like,
yeah, it's unless it was like a Ben Garrison cartoon where it's labeled Billy Club.
Ooh, it should be labeled Billy Club. That'd be a good movie.
All right, any more?
No, I'm all tapped out. Those were the two I wrote. So
all right, Screamin Jay Hawkins.
What would you have said, Scott?
Yes,
Here, just then you grab the billy club from the desk, mug to the camera, and say,
"Oh, Mondays, am I right?"
See,
is Garfield in this movie?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm confused, because those are like my go-to lines of like, donuts, anyone? Like, I don't know, something cheesy as hell. But like, I had to play a little inside baseball with the Sir Austin Danger Powers as a fictional character from the Austin
I love
Powers
that.
series.
No, it was good.
That was my favorite one.
That was why
and then it
I
cuts
led
back
with
to the
that one.
demons, and they're like waiting for you to finish. Gentlemen.
And they're like, "Oh, we get it. Oh, we already talked about the movie."
As a spoof.
Wait, his files are missing.
Oh boy, good segment.
All right.
Good segment.
Hey, Kelly,
Yeah.
do you want to finish recording now?
Let's I mean, of course I do. I'm about to turn into that young werewolf and like
Oh yeah, it's almost time.
been driving this whole time.
Well, do you think we got enough time for?
I think we got a little more
product?
time. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I have this nice coffee mug here. It's a novelty. It's just a normal coffee mug, but on the side it says "Hey Boo," and there's pictures of ghosts on it. Are you kidding me? What's the deal?
No, I'm not kidding.
Oh, it's so spooky.
So, another new segment this week. We're just packing them. There's no quiz. There's no ranker list. I've tasked Marty and Scott to come up with a fun novelty Halloween themed mug. This segment is called Mean Muggin'. Bean Muggin'. It's called Bean Muggin'.
Like coffee beans.
Yeah, like coffee, because it's coffie cups. And this is the Halloween
and
edition.
it's a play on mean muggin because I'm mean.
Yeah. Because Scott, of course, would not like that pun.
Uh-huh.
So, the concept is basically this. You make a coffee mug that you might find at a TJ Maxx.
You got to go to that kiosk at the mall that makes
the kiosk at the
mugs.
mall that
I've
makes fun
spent
mugs.
like a good $65 for this.
There's no real limitations.
Other than it has to be a physical mug that exists in the world. Yep.
No, it's you can, I feel like I specifically said you could doodle. And
What?
Also, since we're a podcast, to focus on
Huh?
the description of it more than the picture of it.
So I didn't have to make this guy laser. All right, I already hate this.
Does anyone want to go first?
Yeah, let's
I'll
share
go
our
first.
wonderful mugs.
I'll go first. I have a series of 3, and I'll show the first one first.
Oh,
So
Marty
my-
went above and beyond for this
Yeah,
one.
mine is also a series. So maybe we should go like round robin.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, I only have one, so I'll go in the middle.
My
Okay.
first one is a white coffee mug, and on the mug it says "Boo" in quotation marks, and then it attributes that with a dash below it that says "a ghost."
The
And
text
is the
so
size of the
tiny.
text? Does that play into it, or is
Yes,
that just?
and the text on the mug is extremely small, making it impossible to read what it says.
So you squint. It's like you're doing a physical zoom in to see it, and then
Correct.
it surprises you.
You
Yes.
can't even
Wow.
read it until you've finished your coffee. That's how hard it is to read.
All right, can I go?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Here's my mug. Do you want to read it?
Kelly, you read it.
Yeah. If you love someone, let them go. If they return with coffee, then it was meant to be. Also, I'm a vampire.
Yep. So that's mug 1 in,
That's a
in
good-
the,
that's a
the
good
Scotty
one.
collection.
Okay, good.
That's a
Kelly,
good-
you got your first mug?
I only have one, but yeah, I do. It's
Your first mug,
it's
Kelly.
pretty on the outside. It's pretty basic.
Semantics.
It says "Grudge Sludge," and that's all it says in like a papyrus style font. But on the inside is where it gets interesting.
Uh-oh. Wait. Grudge sludge. Okay,
Yeah,
so like
grudge sludge. You know,
Yeah,
like like what people would
a
call
term
coffee.
we all use for coffee. Yeah.
Yes, of course. And on the inside, when you get down to the bottom of the cup, there's ceramic knuckles and an eyeball and
Ooh.
real hair.
Oh my god, they glue it down.
They glue it. Well, they glue it down, and sometimes it gets a little loose when that coffee is too hot.
Yeah.
That's a bad.
It is a weak glue.
You know what? That would make a great novelty product, though.
Also, on my coffee mug, I didn't leave enough room for the E in grudge, but there is an E after it's grug.
Grudge.
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 That's
Wow.
mine.
If
clear
that had come
winner.
out in like 2002, along with the Grudge, like holy shit,
Yeah.
great promotional item.
My second mug is. Well, I'll let somebody else describe it.
Kelly, I can't read.
I can't read that. Okay.
Okay.
It's too small.
This is part of Marty's collection. So if
This
you
is my series.
let's go back. His first one was "boo" in quotation marks, and then his second mug is "boobs," a sexy ghost. Sorry, I fucked that up. But yes,
Yeah,
a
it's
sexy
okay.
ghost says "boo BOO ... BS."
Yeah, because talking about boobs makes you sexy.
Yeah.
Similarly, very tiny font on a plain white mug. Scott, your second. Oh, Scott's second mug says, decaf coffee? What am I, a werewolf? Mortal enemy of all vampire kind? I think this is going to be very underworld themed, is what I'm anticipating.
Honestly, I would probably buy that one if I saw it for like $5.
It's a good mug.
That's very
Why would you
goofy.
buy that? Why would that apply to you?
It doesn't. What do you mean? Because I think it's funny. Like I almost bought a class of 2020 mug earlier this year. Doesn't apply to me at all, but I almost did.
You are a werewolf, though, aren't you?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is something we both know about you and we've established.
Oh yeah, I do only drink decaf. Also,
Oh, I see.
I knew
so
it.
now I get why it's ironic. Okay.
yeah.
Marty, your next mug?
For my third mug in my series, it's a mug with a vampire on it, on front. And he says, don't talk to me until I've had my first cup of blood.
Yeah, that one's great. That one,
And he's holding a cup of blood.
that's fantastic. I wouldn't buy that one, but it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
I don't want to talk to him after he's had his first cup of blood.
Yeah. You are not invited in my home, vampire. All right, Scott, is this your last one, or do you guys have more?
I still have one more after
I
this.
don't have any more. That's it.
All right, so
All
Scott's
right.
going to do the grand finale. His third cup says, oh, me? I'm not 80% water. I'm 80% coffee, 0% mortal, 100% vampire, and 100% tired of your bullshit.
All right, and then my
Scott.
last one's kind of in the same vein. Let's just get through it.
These are like, never underestimate a badass vampire born in August who loves counting crows, ultimate frisbee, has a Yorkshire Terrier, drives a Toyota Tacoma, has hemorrhoids, and loves coffee. These are so specific.
They're very specific mugs.
Yeah.
I imagine these are the mugs of it's like a vampire named I don't know, Gladys, who works
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
office.
Yeah. These are great. They're great. They remind me of the very specific forklift certified t-shirts that yeah, my husband's forklift certified. They're
And
great.
these titties are his.
All right. Well, we'll have those somewhere, probably on our Twitter or on our Facebook. Feel free to vote on those.
We got to pick one.
We got to pick one to actually sell. I'm probably not going to win. The odds are stacked against me because I only submitted one. Guys, you don't get any extra credit for submitting extra mugs. Just want to say that.
Pick your best one. So Scott, pick your favorite of yours. I'll pick my favorite of mine.
Wait, why can't we just put these?
We're just going to put them on the internet.
Yeah, for people to look at.
You know,
end
Marty,
as an album.
I was bragging about our
Let's
metrics.
not make this complicated.
About time we put them to use. No one's going to vote. Let's go. All right. Thanks
Yep.
for listening.
Gentlemen, it is the end of Spooftober, the end of our spooky novelty spoof month. What are your thoughts? How did you guys think this month went? This month of spookiness and Halloween time.
It went too fast.
Yeah, it did.
It's already over while we're recording. We still have 7 more days left after
That's true.
we record. But yeah.
Marty, I want to know what you thought about how this went. I want to hear your review.
You know what? I think these were some of our best episodes we've ever done, guys.
Wow.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but they are.
I think they're the same. Oh my god! I don't know. Everybody vote.
Vote
Yeah,
on our
right.
mugs,
The
please.
scariest part of Spooftober
of course,
was
that's what I
American
meant by it.
politics.
An important election. By the time this is coming out, a very important election is just a few days away. Which mug is the best?
The vote everyone's talking. Isn't that? It's weird that Joe Biden
Yeah.
and Donald Trump keep debating
Anderson
over our
Cooper,
mugs.
shut up about the mugs. Oh my god, I got mug fatigue.
I think that's gonna do it for us this week.
Yeah, I'm done.
Hey, thanks for
I
listening.
gotta get going. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no, Kelly! It's a good thing you're in your car and miles away from where I am.
I wonder if he still appreciates it.
Guess not.